Hey everyone! So this is the last video you will be getting from me while I'm in Guatemala. It's kind of strange to think about, isn't it? I'll still be doing one more blog for you guys, but that will be made when I'm back in the States. So today I'm just going to talk a little bit about the things that I have loved and the things I will really miss from my time here in Guatemala. I am super excited to see my family and some of my best friends from school and my fiance, of course. I'm excited to see him. But I just wanted to take a little bit of time to talk about the things that I'll be missing here. I'm going to talk a little bit about the things, the places, and the people that I have loved during my time here and I will miss a lot. One of the things I am going to miss about Guatemala is definitely the food. The frijoles volteados are basically frijoles, beans, that have been mashed and refried, and they are the most delicious thing in the world. Any one of my friends could tell you I'm basically addicted to them. A couple of my favorite traditional dishes are something called chuchitos, which are kind of like a harder version of a tamale with a little itty bitty piece of chicken in the inside. Another one is pepian, which can be made with various different kinds of meat, but it's kind of like a soup with a unique spice flavor, and it's served with rice usually. So in Michigan, there's not really any volcanoes at all, or even mountains or anything. So one of the things I've really enjoyed about my time here in Guatemala is just being able to look out and see a volcano every day. And I know that's a little bit kind of dangerous because we had that big eruption and there's always that threat, but I just love being able to know that there is a volcano practically in my backyard. One of the things I really love about the culture here in Guatemala is how lighthearted it is. Jokes are just a common part of every day, and people just seem to be happier and in a better mood. If you're walking down the street, people will greet you with good morning, even if you've never seen them before. It's really common for people to greet each other. And this is something you won't find in any city in the United States. Some of my favorite places from the times that I've been here, definitely San Juan La Laguna, which is the quiet village we stayed in just off edge of Lake Atitlán, would be one of my highest places ranking-wise. It was just so peaceful and calm and had woods and the big lake, which is something that I love about Michigan. So it was like a little taste of home while I was here. Another place I'm going to really miss is Vuelta Grande. Just the overall feeling that exists in this place is something that just hit a little closer to my heart, and it's someplace that I just felt more at home and at ease than pretty much any place I've been here in Guatemala. If I had actually had the chance, I probably would have taken up an offer to live there for the entire semester and commute to school. Although I didn't really like the tourist aspect, I loved the history that was in Tikal. I felt like I learned so much about what is important to the indigenous people here and understood a little bit more about their culture and where they came from. And of course, one of the big places I'm going to miss is Parque Central here in Antigua. I feel like I've spent so many hours there. It's definitely going to be one of the places I will miss the most. The parks here in Antigua really aren't like the parks that are in the United States. They're places that just have so much life and vibrancy in them because there's so many people that actually hang out there. Every single night there's people hanging out in the park. It's a common place to study or just relax. Out of all the people I'm going to miss, I can pretty much group them into 3 different categories: the school, the house, and the park. So for the school, the person I'm definitely going to miss the most has been my teacher, Rafa. He has taught me so much and just been there to listen and explain things I've been confused about for the entire semester. One of the cool things for me that I've been able to talk to my teacher about is religious stuff, because in the United States that's not something you can often talk to your professor about. But Rafa and I have been able to go to all of these velaciones and the processions, and we've talked about the religious significance of the Catholics' holidays. And for me that's been really cool and impactful, and just a whole new understanding of the culture here in Guatemala has come from our conversations about religious subjects. At the school, I'm also going to really miss just the teachers in general. I'm a pretty outgoing person, so I've actually gotten to know almost all of the teachers in the school to some degree or another. I just have a huge respect for all of them and the work that they do. Teaching is not always easy, especially when you're teaching across a culture like this. and they do such a fabulous job of it. I'm really proud of the people that they are, and I'm so glad I've had a chance to get to know them. And I'm really thankful that they've taken the time to get to know me and to pour into my life as well. A few of the staff that I'm going to really miss at the school is Ivan, first off. He's the coordinator that's been working with the projects in Volta Grande. But more than that, he's been one of my really good friends during my time here. He is such a hard worker and a really great guy. I have so much respect for him and what he does. I will also really just miss Giovanni and Brian, who are two guys who work at the school. They are just a huge pool of constant jokes, and they lighten up my day every time I'm at school. As far as the families go, there are basically two families that I have had here during my time. The first is Delia. She, as a widow, lives alone with the exception of her students. And I have to say that she has honestly been like a mother or a grandmother to me this entire time that I've been here this semester. She's one of the most loving people I have ever met and has really encouraged us and been there for us over the course of this semester. I'm also going to really miss the family that I stayed with in Volta Grande. They were so welcoming and so warm, and I really hope that someday I can come back and visit them again, maybe stay with them for a while. As far as the park goes, I'm really going to miss the people that are there as well. Some of the vendors have really become my friends over this semester. I've really been able to become kind of like a big sister to a number of the kids who work in the park, or who are just there because their parents work in the park. Oftentimes these kids have so little in their life, and they're so happy and so grateful for the little things that they do have. And then of course there's the crew, Cinco Cero Diez, my group of breakdancing friends. I could talk about them for a really long time and discuss how they're each individuals and how amazing they are. If you want to know a little bit about some of their stories, you can watch my blog from last week. As a whole, I have to say that these guys are like a family, and towards the beginning of this semester they just took me in as part of that family as well. I just have to say that I have made some fabulous friends this semester. I don't really know how I'm supposed to say goodbye to all of them, but I'm definitely going to be keeping in contact, and they will always be a part of who I am as a person. So the word for this week isn't even actually a word. It's a nonverbal gesture that is so common here that I didn't feel like I could go without talking about it for the entire semester. So people oftentimes do this gesture, which they basically pinch these two fingers together and stick these ones out like this, and then they move their hand very fast, and it makes a snapping noise. Now, I actually have not been able to master this at all, but my roommate Adri has been able to get the sound out and do it right. But the meaning behind this is pretty much the same as when we snap our fingers. Like, it means something like, oh, very fast, or whoa, a lot, or really cool. So in my breakdancing friends, if one of them does a move really well, people go, ooh. Or if people are talking about, oh man, Delia will come back and say, the market was so busy today, and do this motion. Or someone a moto might come speeding by and be like, ooh, that was really close. So it's kind of similar to the same meaning as when we snap our fingers in the United States, but it's much more common here because everyone uses it all the time. This next week is going to be pretty crazy for me. On Thursday, we're leaving and spending pretty much the entire day traveling back to the United States. On Friday, I move back home and say goodbye to some friends at school before Saturday when I graduate. So all of that's going to be happening before I talk to you guys again. But you will be getting one more blog from me, and it's basically going to just be talking about the things that I learned and how I grew as a person during my time here in Guatemala. So until then, you guys have a great one, and hopefully I'll hear from you soon.